Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm the founder and CEO of the Bobby White Foundation, and of course, your host for this show. Um, Before I had a whole plan for the show, and I don't know how much that plan is going to work today after what happened this morning. But it's all good, though. It's all good. So, but first, I have to thank John and Area 52 Media Group, my producer for the show. He's not only my producer, but he's a great friend. And if it, he's why a lot of the reason why we do this. So I have to thank him tremendously for his support on many levels. And of course, and last week I forgot to thank one of our sponsors, Dylan Gaston from the mortgage firm, and I felt so bad. And I do that sometimes after a show, and I'm like, oh, I forgot this, and then it just spins through my head for hours. But Delynn Gaston with the mortgage firm, anything mortgages, you can't get anybody better than that. Whether you're a first time buyer, you want to refinance, or you just have questions, she can walk you through anything when it comes to that. And if you want going to be a first time buyer, don't you want to be prepared? That makes it so much easier, and she can help you do that. So, and plus, Area 52 Media Group, of course, is one of our sponsors for Art for Hope. So, but there's Art for Hope. It's coming up September 12th from 6 to 9 out at the Hilton Garden Inn on the Sun Coast and 54. And if you're ever out in that area, we have, for my business side of things, thus the art, a bunch of artwork on display out there that is for sale. The majority of it that is hung out there right now, the proceeds benefit the Bobby White Foundation and Art for Hope. So you could just swing in and take a look if you're in the area. But we're looking forward to that. We need sponsors. We have some sponsors, of course. Area 52 Media Group is our Hope sponsor. That's one of our top sponsors. And the Rotary Club of the Nature Coast, District 6950, is one of our Dolly sponsors, and a Da Vinci sponsor. See how I named all these except for the top one, all artists. Is Precision Surveying and Mapping, of course, like Area 52 Media Group. They've been with us since the very beginning and sponsor and help us out every single year. 7 years coming up. That's just mind-boggling to me. But it's exciting. We've got a lot of artwork, and actually, I've been supposed to show some artwork like on the shows. I've got to get my inventory done. I'm working on that, so we'll start showing stuff, and I'll start posting stuff during the week to put some artwork up there. But you can also find it on the Tammy White Gallery's Facebook page, and probably the Bobby White Foundation Facebook page. That would be good too, huh? So what does some of this money go for? Well, we help suicide loss survivors. And fortunately, we've got to the point where we have 2 support groups going. We'll start our second group here July 10th. That's in Spring Hill. We're partnering with NAMI Hernando, which is really super awesome. They've been really great to us. And we're really looking forward to that partnership and having the space and getting the word out about that support group. And then we have our first one, which we started in West Pasco in May. It's every third Thursday at the What's Up Pasco studio, which is in the South Mall entrance. And that's both groups will start from 6:30 to 7:30. Cathy Goodman is the main facilitator for the Spring Hill group. I've known her for a few years through AFSP, and we actually took our support group training together. We didn't know we were going to both be there, but it ended up being really cool that we were. So she's the main facilitator for that group. I'm the main facilitator for the West Pasco group. And then Teresa Daniels helps me out for the West Pasco group. She's a dear friend too. Of course, we're all loss survivors. Cathy lost her 18-year-old son, and so did Teresa. And this is our way of helping others like us and giving back to the community. So when we're not like super strict with a support group, it's, hopefully you come when we have them. We know that it can be difficult. You may feel like, yeah, I'm going to go. And then when it comes time for the group, you just don't have it in you to make it, which that's fine because you got to do what's good for you. But we do have, I made up a new folder specifically for our support groups. Of course, the support group is HOPE, Suicide Loss Survivors Grief Support Group. So we'll give you a folder. There's some paper in there. It's a form for information for us, just so that in case we need to, we know who to contact. There's other information for the other support groups, books. We're going to have a like a lending library. I've already started a library here at the foundation, and so some of those books will be available. And Cathy's getting together some more books that she's got a list for. So, and actually today I gave a purple folder to a gal I know. A situation arose, somebody that she knew. It's going to go through like two people before it gets to the person who needs it, but at least she's going to get it. In our community, an elderly woman, this was, I don't know, within the last month or two, had been diagnosed, and this is quite common, had been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and she ended up taking her life. Her daughter found her. So we were contacted so we can get the purple folder to her. So in turn, my friend who asked for him, she gave us a book for our library, which is really cool. I'll probably read it before it goes out, but because I do that, I like that. So anyway, so both groups will have a lending library for our attendees. So that's part of the other things that we do. And of course, we've got our purple folders, which I spent the morning, I had made some up so that I could get it to my friend. And we've got actually, I think it's Our Lady Queen of Peace, Catholic, one of the bigger Catholic churches here, wants to have some of the purple folders for their office. So I had an assembly line on my kitchen, or on my kitchen counter, and was assembly lining, putting the books together. There we go. And I still have some more to put together because even NAMI Pasco has handed out more than what they thought that they would. It's good and it's not good. I'm glad that we can do this, but yeah, that's what the inside of the folders look like. So the purple folders was actually our first program, and when we first started the foundation, partnering with it's a really long name, and I've said it before many times, but sometimes I feel like I'm going to get tongue-tied. Central Florida Children's and Family Systems of Care. And that's how we actually got our first grant. Our first year was for the purple folders, partnering with them. And then after the first year was over, the foundation completely took over the the purple folders. So we're adding new partners, which is really cool. Usually the fourth week of the last week of the month is a busy week for meetings with other organizations that we're collaborating with. I mentioned we're part of Zero Suicide Partners of Pinellas County and Zero Suicide Partners of Hillsborough, and the SAFE program here in Pasco County, which is also still under the Zero Suicide Partners. We just named ours different because we live in Pasco and we want to be different. So that's just kind of how we roll up here. But really, really fortunate. Last week, a gal reached out to me from Zero Suicide Partners Hillsborough, and we had a really great meeting. Pinellas and Pasco, and then yesterday we had our Safer Gun program meeting. Because it was a holiday. It's a holiday week. We didn't have a lot of people on, but it was really great because, like I said, I had this gal, Alyssa, reach out to me last week, and we played phone tag for like 2 days. Of course, part of it was my fault. I gave her the wrong phone number, which off by one number doesn't work. But we finally connected yesterday and spoke, and come to find out and I've missed some of the meetings for Hillsborough, but we've got it finally on the calendar properly, so I won't miss them anymore. And she's going to help me stay in line here. But they want to address the loss side, the aftermath of suicide, also with Zero Partners Hillsborough. So she wanted to know about our program. And so I got to fill her in on everything that we did and what we're doing and everything. And she was really excited about it. And asked about, the purple folder. And one thing that has come up, not a whole lot, but some people have asked, and she asked, is if we have the purple folders online, digital. And it's come up in the past, and I've really hesitated about it because I really, really feel that this needs to be a physical thing, an in-hands physical thing. It's just the way I feel. Compared to 8 years ago, you can get a lot more stuff online. So I just feel that what we have needs to be physical. So I told her that I will get a folder together and I will mail it to her. She's just in Tampa, but or Wesley Chapel. But anyway, so I told her I'd send her one of those, and then I'd send her one of the folders as a sample, our hope folder for our support groups. So thus more folders are being put together. But I'm pretty proud of that. She I think she was kind of pretty impressed. So that was really cool. So all these things that we've been trying to get going over the last several years is starting to fall into place, as far as all these organizations, collaborating and working together. And one of the things that came across at our Safer Gun meeting is because we're trying to pull in also gun owners, gun shop owners, gun range owners, for what we're trying to do with this portion of it. But we also want to bring in Zero Suicide Partners of Pinellas and Zero Suicide Partners of Hillsborough. So when we were on the gun meeting yesterday, I let them know. I said, I'm going to be talking to somebody from the Hillsborough group. And so we talked about that too. So we're going to bring them in on our conversation with what we're working towards for our Safer Gun project for Tampa Bay. So it'll be a collaboration of the organizations in Tampa Bay, which I still do the Hernando, even though they're a little bit north, but I still consider that part of Tampa Bay. But it's basically for us because we're north, Pasco County, Hillsborough County, and Pinellas County, and then bringing in the others. So I'm really excited about that. It's like, the traction is starting to happen. Things are starting to happen. People are more willing to talk. It's something that we have to address. I mean, I tell you that, not only from my experience and, the people that I've met on this journey who travels this road with us, today, and this is where I get off a little bit, from what I was going to talk about, because I know I'm going to run out of time. But I was talking to a gal, and I had mentioned that, and I needed to do something, but I said I got to take my show this afternoon. And she goes, "Oh, good luck with the show." And I'm like, "Well, do you know what it's about?" And she's like, "No." And so I told her, and so she opens up to me. This is just weird how things happen, but they do happen that way, especially when you're open to it. She shared with me that her daughter is struggling with suicidal ideology, and she's in her 30s and has a couple kids. And we had a family, come through our organization a couple of years ago that it's almost the same scenario. And so I told her more about the show and how to look it up, and to check out our website. And by the time we were getting off the phone, she was nearly in tears, and I just, I was just like, if I'm open to, call me, if you just need to talk, if it gets to be, too much. They are trying to get her help. And, I hope we have, a good outcome with that, but it's a hard, long road. And so then I get off that conversation because I needed to get to another networking meeting. And I got someone that I know. He wanted to talk to me. He wanted to talk to me yesterday, and I had to leave because I had to get back here to the Safer Gun meeting. And so after this meeting, kind of went away from people, and he shared with me that he's having those thoughts. He's having some health issues, and I felt really fortunate that he felt safe to open up to me, and and listen, and I listened to him, and to make sure that he is being open with his wife, which is really awesome, and I encourage that, even more and more. And so we're with some of our partners that we refer people to, getting him the information so he can get some more help, to get through this. They've got a long road to go too, with his health issues, and very possible early diagnosis of dementia. It's a scary time for him, but I felt fortunate that they, both these people, felt safe enough to open up to me, and I can help out a little bit. That's kind of like why we're here. you know so um yeah, it was it's just a lot of things are really starting to happen. And I'm fortunate. I mean, I'm really grateful that, our hard work, all these years since, well, yeah, 7th annual Art for Hope, so 7 years for the Bobby White Foundation. Um, uh, People in, the clinicians, those organizations, are talking about us and are, we're getting out there, and I just feel like really super great things are, I hope, come out of this. I know that, like, for this show, and for Art for Hope, the support of John and Area 52 Media Group and Delynn, is a major part of that, because I certainly can't do this on my own. I don't have all that in me, but it's good. You have to be open to talk. You just do, and that's what we're all about. Talk saves lives. So, anyways, so we may get to be able to talk about. We were talking last week. If I can find this again. Um, the strategic plan that the government has put out, the National Strategy for Suicide Prevention, and our zero suicide groups are talking about this now. So we were going through it. We'd gone through probably most of not the goals. Yeah, no, that was for the first strategy one. And these are so in depth, and it really helps us in our organizations kind of help guide us so we don't have to reinvent the wheel a little bit. So I'm gonna skip up to strategic direction number 2, which is treatment and crisis services. And this is where, especially with Zero Suicide Partners, Pinellas, because they've been organized a little bit longer. But I had mentioned, I think I mentioned last week that one of the, I was supposed to turn that off. One of the, oh man, my stupid phone. I'm sorry. One of the critical times in crisis after a suicide attempt is within like the first 24 to 72 hours after somebody is either been Baker acted or hospitalized or, for an attempt. And it's been very, very difficult for these clinicians to keep up on that. And this is one thing that is like one of many that is really super important. So this is something that Pinellas County is working on very strategically. We're trying to get all these organizations to really follow up. There's screening tools, routine care. They need a collaborative safety planning in place. Lethal means safety counseling, connecting with peer support groups, and that one I think is a difficult one there. We're working really good, getting a head start with the lethal means safety training, and getting starting to get organizations here on board with that, which is really great. But again, it takes all of our organizations and all of us to do all this work, because it's so in depth and there's just so much. So with the zero suicide, there's 7 elements of the zero suicide framework. and they are train, identify, engage, treat, transition, improve, and lead. And we've got James Haley, that's our Veterans Hospital. One of the gals from there is actually leading our Safer Gun Program initiative meetings. She's really great. She was also a guest on our show, Michelle. And we have other organizations. So, and they have 8 goals. The crisis continuum of care, that's what I was talking about. That's really important. So I'm not going to be able to get into all this today. But you can go to the website. John put it up there. We'll have the link up there. I'll get the link up there after the show. And you can go through it. It's all you got to do is click on the QR code. There you go. Makes it easy. So, anyways, we'll continue with this next week, and we'll get some more updates. Like I said, there's a lot going on. I know I said it last week. It's kind of weird to say that I'm excited about it. How do you be excited about stuff when you're talking about suicide? But the work is coming, and I can see all our hard work doing good, and that makes me feel good. So, anyways, and it's not always good for me either. I came across this quote I thought I'd use it for this week. It's not the happiest quote, but it's real. The fall hurt like hell, but I found grace in the wounds and a version of me I never knew. And that is true, and that can be true for you. So remember to put these numbers in your phone. 988 is the easiest one to remember. You never know when somebody is going to need it, or you might need it, and you can help other people, help save lives. Remember, there is always hope. Thank you.